Okay, peeps, welcome back. So today we're going to be talking about our buys, sells, and dividends for the week of November 5th to November 11th. Let's get it. So as you guys can see here on the chart, we do have the daily chart of LTCN pulled up. The reason being is because we're going to talk about this first, but before we go into the chart, we're going to go into our actual positions. So we'll pop over to Fidelity. As you guys can see, this is Fidelity. So this is our current positions in these grayscale ETFs, or basically, I guess you could call it like non-native crypto positions. So as you guys can see here, we have increased our position into LTCN a substantial amount, more than double the previous video that we did, I believe. Don't quote me on that. I'll have to go back and look. But reason being is because we were seeing on the chart that LTCN was starting to pop off, and we didn't want to be late to, or the last race in the horse, so to speak, or last horse in the race. So, you know, with that being said, we just didn't want to miss the opportunity to get it in at a really good price. So we decided to put a lot of money in now. And if it pulls back, we will buy some more. Of course, it depends on how much it pulls back. If it pulls back to our cost basis, we'll definitely pick up, I'd say probably another 20%. But we'll just have to wait and see. So currently we have over 4,000 in LTCN. We have roughly still about the same amount in BCHG, about $770. You can actually see that we're up more in percentage gains in BCHG than we are LTCN. And we do also have some cash in here, just sitting on the sidelines, waiting for the prices to pull back, if they're going to pull back. We really don't know at this point what's going to happen. I mean, the whole talk about the spot Bitcoin ETFs has kind of got the whole crypto market hyped. So it's hard to say what could happen. We view this one of two ways. Number one, it could be the real deal, and the spot Bitcoin ETFs really are about to come out, and the crypto market's not wrong for being hyped, and everything is going to moonshot, and we're going to make a ton of money. Or the second alternative, which is also likely, I would say, which is that it could just basically be a big trap. They're coming out and being like, oh, yeah, guys, we're going to approve it. We're going to approve it. We're going to come out with that spot Bitcoin ETF. And then all of a sudden the SEC rejects all of the Bitcoin ETFs for a different reason, and they just never get approved. And then the market tanks. And then, in that particular instance, we want to have some cash on the sidelines. So in the bullish case, we're positioned. In the bearish case, we have cash on the sideline just in case it does end up playing out more likely in the second scenario. I'm not saying the second scenario is more likely. I'd say they're probably about even at this point. But as you guys can see, we are up about 23%. We could take some profit off the table right now if we wanted to, but we're not going to because, we're expecting to make at least, I would say at least conservatively, a 50 to 60x on LTCN, and at least a 10 to 15x, maybe a 20x on BCHG. So if we go over here to the actual transactions, you guys can see that we're kind of just buying in real slow, real slow, real slow. So you can see here we had basically the price was 551, 3 shares. And then you have 574, 6 shares. And then we weren't really expecting it to go up a huge amount. And then we saw this, it all of a sudden went to $6. And we're like, okay, at this point, maybe we should get in a lot right now before this thing gets too expensive. So that's exactly what we did. And if it pulls back, we're not worried about it. We still have plenty of resources on the side to be able to buy more if we need to. So you guys can see that through the transactions, the price was getting more expensive. So we wanted to get positioned our initial amount right out of the gate as soon as possible, which in this case was 4K. So that would be the current crypto portfolios. In terms of native cryptocurrencies, actual cryptocurrencies, we are currently in the process of buying some right now, but we're not going to talk about that in this video because that's a pretty recent event. We want to save that, I would say, and probably until next week, maybe the end of the month. As we told you guys before, we had some unexpected expenses that popped up we had to pay for, so we're kind of trying to even that out by not purchasing as much in terms of assets this month. And you also got to keep in mind, we've been purchasing assets aggressively for almost 12 months straight, so it's good to take a break once in a while. So as So that's our buys in crypto. As for the buys in dividend paying stocks, we have not purchased much this last week. I believe we might have purchased some AMZ. I'm gonna have to take a look at that right here. So let's scroll down and take a look. It does look like we purchased a little bit here on Monday on the 6th. So we just bought $10 worth, which is about a half a share. We'll get like 25 cents a month for that. It's not a lot, but the idea is to keep it growing. We're starting to slowly add Coney back into our position. The reason we're not being super aggressive with this is because, again, we pointed out the second scenario with crypto that at some point the SEC could just say, you know what, we're not going to approve it. And here's our reason why. Because don't quote me on this, but I believe that this is just my perspective, of course. I believe that the courts said that the SEC had to re-review the documents for the spot Bitcoin ETFs, but I'm pretty certain they didn't say that they were forced to approve it. So it's all in the lingo when it comes to legalese, right? When it comes to the law, it's all about the wording and stuff. And that's the same with like business documents and so on and so on. So with that being said, they could find another reason to reject them. And as a result of that, the crypto market would dump, and then also Coney would probably also dump, and that would be the time that we would actually be looking to get in more aggressively. So if it was going to happen, it might not happen. We'll just have to wait and see. So anyways, we got 0.45 shares. Basically that would equal to about 50 cents a month. It's not a lot, but the Bitcoin halving is coming up, and we did tell you guys early on that we were going to start moving our purchases to the other side of the sliding scale, more in the favor of crypto, as we got closer to the halving. So yeah, I got kicked out of M1 Finance, unfortunately, because it's kind of a time thing, but we have not actually purchased anything on M1 Finance as of this week. So there is that. Now for Webull, we'll go over here to Webull. This is real simple. We just click on the dividends tab. You guys can see that basically we haven't gotten paid any dividends yet. So in terms of the dividend payouts, the next dividends that we are likely to get paid is from the yield max ETFs. So you're just going to wait for the site to load. So we'll click on everybody's favorite here, Tesla, and go ahead and scroll down here for yield max distributions. Just click here to find out what the yearly distribution calendar is going to be. As you guys can see on the far right, that's the payment date. So we'll get paid from the yield max ETFs on the 16th, which would be next week before the end of the week. Now, if we go back over here to the charts on TradingView, you guys can see that we have LTCN pulled up. So we'll take a quick look at the crypto market overall before we actually get into LTCN. So you can see Bitcoin's up a lot. It's up at 37,000. Ether is over 2,000, which we did state in our ETH versus ETH or Ether versus Grayscale ETH video, that if we manage to get a close above 2,000, that's extremely bullish for Ethereum. As a matter of fact, we'll go over that one more time here, so just so y'all can see. So you guys can see kind of this macro resistance area between 1950 and 2130. If it gets above that 2130, I mean, the next stop would be all the way up at 2500. And then I suppose the next place would be somewhere between 3300 and 3500 would be the next move up in terms of ETH. Litecoin, which is the one that tracks LTCN tracks, I should say, has been sitting on this macro support level for quite some time, since 2022, between $48. It's kind of ranged between that and about 110. And this is on the weekly time frame. So if we scroll back here, you guys can actually see that in previous years, this was also major support, including the 2020 pandemic bear market. And you also had these prices all the way back at 2018. So it's kind of a really big support level. We're pretty much looking out for a breakout and weekly candle close above $114. And then from that point, I would say that it could go as high as maybe 130 would be the next resistance. and then maybe all the way up to 170. And then roughly about 220 from that point would be the next following resistance levels. But the crazy thing about crypto is sometimes you think like a resistance is going to hold or a support's going to hold, but then whatever given cryptocurrency it is just absolutely destroys that structural level and it just blasts right through it like it's absolutely nothing. That's typical in crypto. If you see something like that, don't be surprised. I mean, you probably will be surprised. We're surprised, but after seeing it so many times, we're like, yeah, okay, that's something that typically happens in crypto. It's not really that normal for stocks. So we're going to go back to LTCN here. Just have to really scroll down here because this thing has kind of been sitting at lows for a long time. So basically, as you guys can see, we did get a weekly close above these wicks here. Now that's typically bullish. Usually in trading terms, like day trading, swing trading terms, getting above this wick high here with a body close, or I should say these body highs with a body close, is actually very bullish. But we want to see a follow-up candle with another green weekly close above that. Reason being is because this could still be a trap. This thing could go from a green weekly close to a red weekly close on the following candle. That's typically bearish, especially if the red candle close is bigger than the previous green one. That's what's known as a bearish engulfing candle. So we could then see the prices go all the way back to, like, I would say maybe about 470 a share, maybe 430 a share, maybe as low as 370 a share. In that case, it would be an optimal time to pick up. But the next point after that, if it does blast through that resistance zone, would be all the way up here. I would say at roughly between $15 to $25 would be the next target, which would put us up roughly about a 3 to 5x, which is really good money. But again, we intend to make a lot more than that. So I would say the next resistance would be at roughly about $100 here. As you guys can see, you got this wick here and this red candle close, which it bounced off of. And then above and beyond that, you have, say, roughly about $200. Let's say about 280 to 300, and then 330, and then maybe as high as about 390, and then the peak obviously is between 460 to 500. So that's pretty much what we're looking at in terms of LTCN to the upside. And you guys already know where the downside is. It's not really that far down. You basically have 370 and pretty much about $2 even. So anyways, this is our buys, sells, and dividends for the week, and we hope you all enjoyed this content. We will continue to keep you updated on both dividend paying stocks and crypto as we move forward, but do understand that we probably are going to scale more towards crypto the closer that we get to the halving, because again, the thing that you guys need to understand about dividend paying stocks versus crypto, you can buy dividend paying stocks any time of the year, any month of the year, any year out of the decade. Okay. If you're in a bull market, they're more expensive to buy. If you're in a bear market, they're cheaper to buy. And right now, dividend paying stocks are pretty cheap, but you can buy them anytime you want. It doesn't matter. Okay. Winter, summer, 2008, 2010, 2020, 2030, 2021, 2025, May, June, July, August, December, doesn't matter. Okay. Anytime is a good time to buy dividend paying stocks. Why? Because they give you passive income. But for crypto, the crypto bull run only happens on 4-year cycles. So once every 4 years, crypto will have a roughly about a 1 to 2 year bull market. We're already, I would say, from the lows on Bitcoin, we're already about a year into that bull market, or maybe not a year. Well, I don't know. Let's take a look at the Bitcoin price, and I'll tell you guys what I'm talking about here. So just a quick snapshot. So what do I mean by the low? Basically, from this point right here. Okay, so November, December of 2022. So we're roughly about, I would say, a year off of the low. So we're about a year into the overall bear market. Does that mean the bear market's going to end in a year from now? Maybe not, but we'll just have to wait and see. So But typically, when the low is in for Bitcoin, that is the start of the new bull market in crypto, which is why you guys understand why we've been buying since back here. So the bull market only happens every 4 years. We don't want to miss that opportunity. That's the reason why we're mentioning it so much on this channel at this point. So anyways, hope you all enjoyed the content. Please like, comment, and subscribe, and we'll see y'all later. Peace.